some questions, though, on your exam where you will have to use the formula. And especially if you get a solve and the exam tells you you have to solve it algebraically, then you're not allowed to use any shortcuts. You can still use shortcuts to check. Like I'd be like, NP2, it has to have 2 spaces, it has to equal 56. Can you think of what numbers would have to go in there? Something times something is 56, and 1 has to be 1 less than the other one. 8 and 7. Okay. Glad you know your times table. It makes me happy. 8 times 7, 56. So we would know that n has to be 8. You would not get full marks on this question because it did say to solve it algebraically. So algebraically means you have to take your formula. So you go to your formula sheet and you see this. And so NP2 would be n factorial over n minus 2 factorial equals 56. And we have to solve this algebraically. The ideas with factorials, not like numbers, you're not allowed to just cancel them out. It's like, ooh, I don't like the exclamation marks, so I'll just cancel them out. That is not true. The way that we simplify a factorial, just like we did with 8 factorial and 5 factorial, is first you have to decide which number is bigger. In this case, I hope it's obvious that 8 is bigger than 5. And we started expanding 8 by saying it keeps going until we got to the 5 and said, hey, wait a second, there's a 5 on the bottom, so they canceled out. It's the same with variables. Which is bigger, n or n minus 2? N is bigger. So we start with the bigger one, which is the n, and we multiply by 1 less, which happens to be n minus 1, and we keep going down by 1 until we get what's on the bottom. In this case, if I go 1 less than n minus 1, I would get n minus 2, and I'd say, hey, wait a second. That's what I have on the bottom. Those will simplify away, and it's equal to 56. And I now have a quadratic equation, which is n squared minus n. If I move the 56 over to make it equal to 0, I could factor. I don't think I should have banged my head so hard. We can factor, and we're going to get n and n, 8 and 7. One's going to be minus, one's going to be plus. So we get 2 answers. N is equal to 8, and n is equal to negative 7. However, you can never factorial with a negative, so we have to, just like logs, have to check. Look at our original equation. That would give me negative 7 factorial, so I put an x through this one, and the only answer is n equals 8. But there will also be some questions where they allow you not to do it algebraically. Like B might be a multiple choice question. And B is one actually where I would encourage you not to use algebra. R is the number of spaces. You know that you have to start with a 5. So if I did 1 space, is it true? Is 5 equal to 20? No. So I add another space. Is 5 times 4 equal to 20? Yes. So our R value has to equal 2. And a question for practice on this one is number